There's a lot of other topics that are just swirling around our society that are extremely unifying. You're not going to find a lot of people that are going to go against this. One of them is massive surveillance by our government into our personal lives. Now, a lot of people say, I want more of that. And this is something that was tried to be pushed not by government, but during a Super Bowl commercial by one of the key companies that's doing it. Take a look.
All right.
This is Milo. Pets are family. But every year, 10 million go missing. And the way we look for them hasn't changed in years. Until now. One post of a dog's photo in the Ring app starts outdoor cameras looking for a match. Search Party from Ring uses AI to help families find lost dogs. Since launch, more than a dog a day has been reunited with their family. Be a hero in your neighborhood with Search Party. Available to everyone for free right now. Join the neighborhood at ring.com.
Boy, slippery little slope we're on.
Yeah, and a lot of people were up in arms about that because you can see it's hop, skip, and jumping away from repurposing that for mass surveillance. And, you know, today a dog, tomorrow an anti-vaxxer, or maybe someone that broke curfew because of a lockdown. It's not hard to imagine. So almost immediately after that commercial, this is what the news looked like.
It's the Super Bowl ad sparking controversy.
Some critics see it as a shocking level of surveillance.
The home security company Ring promoting a feature that scans footage from Ring cameras in your neighborhood. The ad said to find lost dogs.
The AI detection feature called Search Party would have allowed homeowners to share camera footage with neighbors, drew backlash and stoked fears over mass surveillance.
Some people online questioning if the feature could also be used to search for people. Critics vowing to stop using the company's products altogether.
As of today, I no longer use Ring doorbells.
Take your Ring camera off, get rid of it.
You get rid of Ring, go to a new company. Ring camera ain't it.
Ring says the feature was built, quote, with strong privacy protections from the start, saying it can find only lost dogs and has no capability to find people.
Critics say this is essentially private companies creating Big Brother and then convincing us to opt in.
But with the cost of a Super Bowl ad roughly at about $8 million this year, for Ring, the cost may end up being a little bit higher.
You know, Jeffrey, these are the things that really inspire me. When I see regular people probably that don't watch the HighWire, some of them, maybe some of them do, but when you just start seeing society starting to reject the things we should all be rejecting, things we should really be terrified of. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago on I think it was one of the Defeat the Mandate stages, Robert Kennedy Jr. got into a lot of trouble making a comparison to Nazi Germany and saying if the Nazis had the technologies we have now, there'd be no hiding in an attic. You're not going to be able to hide anywhere. This is exactly, I think about this, and to think that, you know, people are like, it's outrageous what he's saying. Really? Can you imagine if every camera everywhere, can you imagine what the Nazis would have been able to do with that technology? And I always say, I think when we look at any government, no matter where, and we're seeing worldwide right now, these governments, you elect the wrong person, something moves the wrong direction, where you get someone that really, truly is out of their mind, and these technologies are at their fingertips. Do you know how quickly things can go wrong for a society, for a nation? This is a really, really big deal. And I hope people really think about how they interact with these products right now, because I'm getting a little tired of saying, oh, it's unstoppable. It's unstoppable if you keep buying these things and using them.
That's right, and the boycott is alive and well. It's very powerful, and I want to take one of those points that they said in that news article or the news package there, and they said Ring has no capability to find people. This is just for dogs. Well, explain this headline then. Amazon Ring to introduce facial recognition on doorbells and cams by December.
Right.
So we got that going. So it does have the ability to do that. And so you're seeing this. You're seeing they're selling under the guise of we're going to find your fluffy dog. But you're looking around the world. Unfortunately, we have media from around the world, and we can see headlines coming out of, I don't know, the UK that look like this. Police start live facial recognition trial at London train stations. Here's another one. Australian states expand facial recognition and biometric digital ID systems. So they're doing it in the government there and throughout the police forces there. But here in the United States, we do have protections. Here's kind of a synopsis. There's almost 20 states that have biometric protections, meaning you can't allow these companies to take your biometric information, your face, your gait, your body. You can't. They can't take these. They can't store them. There's a lot of different types of ways this is written up in the law, but the bottom line is these companies don't own your biometric information, and they can't just take it without your informed consent. So that's the huge legal area this opens up, because that's exactly what these companies are doing. They're scanning the entire neighborhood. You're outside your entire front door. People are walking by. It's picking up conversations of people on the street that people are not consenting to. Huge issues. And so, but it's being here directed in the United States by massive billion-dollar companies. And Amazon's one of them, but the other one is Meta. So Meta, they're trying to take it off your door and stick it on your face with glasses. Here's New York Times. Meta plans to add facial recognition technology to its smart glasses. But listen to this. It says the feature, internally called name tag, would let wearers of smart glasses identify people and get information about them via Meta's artificial intelligence assistant. So you can imagine if people are doing that, Meta is definitely doing that. Their internal system is definitely taking all of that information, just like they did with their past technologies on Facebook. So it goes on to say this. The document, this is an internal document New York Times looked at from May, describes plans to first release name tag to attendees of a conference for the blind, which the company did not do last year before making it available to the general public. Meta's internal memo said the political tumult in the United States was good timing for the feature's release. They said this: we will launch during a dynamic political environment where many civil society groups that we would expect to attack us would have their resources focused on other concerns. That's according to Meta's Reality Lab. So again, hey, let's use this stuff to find dogs. That'll sell it to the public. Let's release these AI glasses during a conference for the blind. No, forget that. Let's just ram it down people's throats. Well, all these NGOs that would attack us because they're worried about privacy and biometric data being taken by the government, they're busy because this is a politically crazy year. So let's just go with it. And that's what Meta did. But it's so interesting because we have the internet, we can do a basic search engine. Here's a New York Times article from 2021. Facebook, citing societal concerns, plans to shut down facial recognition systems. So what happened in 5 years? It says Facebook plans to shut down its decades-old facial recognition system this month, deleting the face scan data of more than 1 billion users and effectively eliminating a feature that has fueled privacy concerns, government investigations, class action lawsuit, and regulatory woes. And you go to Facebook's blog post that made that headline in 2021. Listen to what Facebook itself said. They said, every new technology brings with it potential for both benefit and concern, and we want to find the right balance. Okay, in the case of facial recognition, its long-term role in society needs to be debated in the open and among those who will be most impacted by it. Well, or just rush to the finish line during a politically crazy year and forget about the blind people. Let's just massively get this product out because people are going to attack us, but they're busy right now. They're looking the other way. Is that open debate? I'm not sure. But right now, as we speak, Mark Zuckerberg just got done testifying in trial. This was yesterday in Los Angeles. Zuckerberg forced to defend Meta's action towards kids in front of a jury trial. So it's not just facial recognition. It's actually the practices of Facebook. You judge them by their fruits. Internal memo has shown that they've allowed sexual predators on their platform. Obviously, the algorithms are fueling mental health situations. Even their own internal scientific documents and research showed that. And it's really kind of fascinating, just to wrap this up, that Mark Zuckerberg's own entourage had some of these meta glasses on. And the judge actually had to say this in court. Judge, during Zuckerberg testimony, don't record using meta glasses in court. They basically threatened to hold them in contempt of court if anybody was trying to tape this using their Meta glasses or record it. So that's the state of Meta right now. Zuckerberg's on trial for all these issues. They're trying to force facial recognition and biometric scanning. You have Amazon Ring doorbells. Basically, it's carpeting your whole neighborhood in mass surveillance. This is moving really fast, and in the U.S., it's coming from the corporate angle, the manufactured corporate angle, as opposed to top-down government control.
It's really scary because, I mean, I know there's people that say, I'm not breaking the law, so what difference does it make? It's the total loss of privacy. It's an inability to walk in your world and just be left alone, or just have a day that's quietly to yourself, to go grocery shopping. We watch how superstars from Hollywood sometimes go crazy over the amount of attention on them. They can't go out in public anymore. They get paid huge amounts of money to buy islands, but we can't all buy islands. And what happens if those glasses start saying Trump voter, Biden voter, or Catholic or Jewish, you know, all of those things, so that now you're wearing things that used to be privately yours, gay, straight, whatever. Why is that somebody walking by's information to have on you? These things are really, they're going to have such massive implications on what it means to be human. Frankly, I mean, I think a lot of people think that would be hell, to have no privacy anywhere you go. And yet, and again, I think, Jeffrey, as we get deeper and we're starting to really cover these issues, and it's fascinating, right? Because we always started with the Informed Consent Action Network was about pharmaceutical products. That's what's got us in here, and I guess on what you're spraying on our crops. But the fact that it's informed consent that may be the only thing protecting us from surveillance right now. So this term is now, we're being dragged, Jeffrey, right now into these conversations around AI, around surveillance, because it's the heart of what we believe in. A free people must have a right to consent to the world that they live in and the things that are done to them and the things that are known about them. Otherwise, we are not free, and we are getting so close to losing the freedom that we grew up with. We're going to leave our children a prison if we do not really get focused right now.